Hey, Xiomy here. So I just wanted to welcome you to my channel, to Xiomy's Book Tales. In today's video, what I wanted to do was to give a mini review on a book that I really did enjoy reading. And the one I'm talking about is City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. Now, this is the 6th installment of the Mortal Instruments series and the final book to the series also. And this book, in my opinion, was just amazingly written. The plots and the twists were just amazing. There were things that you weren't expecting. The speeches were just brilliance. Honestly, sometimes I had goosebumps all over my skin. To me, characters grew in so many ways that you really weren't expecting. There were things that you really weren't expecting from characters to do, but it was amazing to see. The antagonist was even more cruel in this book. He was the epitome of evil. Honestly, his father had nothing on him. But the characters were just amazing. Honestly, I loved it. I loved the way it finished. I love that they introduced new characters. We also got to see new characters that are going to continue in the Shadowhunter series. And I also did love that, so it isn't basically a closing. We are being introduced to new characters. But to me, I love this book, honestly. I mean, it made me laugh. It made me cry. It gave me goosebumps. I wanted to burn it at times. Honestly, there were parts in the book that I just wanted to take a match and just light it up because I was getting so mad at the book. But in the end, everything was resolved, and I really did enjoy reading this book. It was amazing. I highly suggest that you read it. If you like reading about warlocks and werewolves and vampires and Nephilim or Shadowhunters, in this case, I love Shadowhunters. Honestly, ever since I read the first book, I just dived into that realm. If you love reading about all those kind of genres, I highly suggest that you read these books because they are an amazing reading and they're just sheer brilliance. To me, this was an amazing closing, and I loved the way it ended. I just enjoyed every aspect of this book. Now, this book is divided into two parts within its chapters, and the first part, basically, a lot of the Shadowhunters are going into Idris, which is basically their land. I don't know if that's the way you pronounce it, but anywho. The reason that they're going into their land, into Idris, is because Sebastian, which he is our antagonist, he's penetrating the institutes, but he's also penetrating the institutes and also turning all the Shadowhunters into Endarkened through the Infernal Cup. Now, once you are turned into an Endarkened, you're dead. That's it. Basically, lights out. And that's something that they're trying to stop, but they're failing miserably. So what I did love about this book was basically the first part where, if you read Clockwork Princess, which is the Infernal Devices trilogy, those books were amazing. I highly suggest that you read those books because basically there is something answered here, and that's when Zachariah becomes James Carstairs again. And I loved, when he became human again, because that was something that I was expecting. And it's finally revealed in this book, and I thought that was really beautiful, the way they just brought him back. To me, Jace was really cool. And I can say that he's prepared for everything and anything, honestly. The cave scene, I basically loved it more in the second part when they went into Edom, which is the demon realm. I don't know if that's the way you pronounce it either. But when they went into the demon realm, I had so much fun, and those were the parts where I really wanted to burn the book. Because there are some jokes that are really funny, especially when Alex says the pie joke. That had me like crying, honestly. It was just so funny. When he says if you know the pie scene, you know what he says, but it was just amazing to read. The part where Jace basically takes out a condom in the demon realm. I mean, who does this in a demon realm? And it's funny because it's like, who takes condoms into hell? I could just imagine Jace. He'd be like, wait, let me prepare my backpack. Let me get some water, some protein bars. Oh wait, did I pack condoms? Let me go get them. I mean, like, but you can say that he's prepared for literally everything, honestly. What I didn't like basically was the way that certain characters died. I'm nitpicking here, but it's basically, the way Jacob died. I really wasn't expecting that because I was honestly expecting him to die in a different way. I mean, here I am all bloody and gory, but I was expecting him to die in a different way. I was expecting him to die like surrounded by Endarkens and fighting to his last breath. But basically, he's just killed by Sebastian. He just, stabs him with a sword, and you can read when he says, that a sword protruded from him. And I was like, Okay, whatever. And also the way Rafael Santiago died, I also wasn't expecting him to die in that way, but we did get to learn a lot about him, and I really did enjoy that part when you got to learn a little bit about them. But I did like that he didn't betray, you know, Magnus Bane. Well, it's not what I enjoyed about the second book, but what really had me like in pain was when they finally kill Sebastian. Here I am, I'm rooting for the bad guy to die. No doubt in my mind, I'm rooting for him to die. And then he gets, you know, stabbed with the Morgenstern sword, and the Morgenstern sword from Clary does have the heavenly fire within it. And we do know that, you know, the heavenly fire does kill off any demon blood that you have in him. And all of a sudden, you know, Sebastian is lying on the floor, and guess who you think appears? I mean, this is something I wasn't expecting, you know. Cassandra, I wasn't expecting this. All of a sudden, you see that Jonathan Morgenstern appears. I mean, here we have the kid who was never given the opportunity to live. Since he was in the womb of his mother, he was being poisoned with demon blood. And to see him appear was just so devastating. I mean, here in this point of the book, I was crying. I was like, Clary, why did you kill him? Why did you have to kill him? But, you know, we all know why she had to kill him. But it was a really sad part. It was something that I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting this. I wasn't expecting to feel sorry for the antagonist, but you know, I basically do. And there is a part that he says to Clary, don't feel sorry for me, I've done a lot of unspeakable things and you shouldn't feel sorry for me. And she's like, I don't feel sorry, I don't, you know, it's basically like she says, I don't hate you, I do hate Sebastian, but I don't hate you because I don't know you that well. But that was a devastating part for me, honestly. It was heartbreaking. But in the epilogue, I did like that they finally, you know, got married. Luke and Jocelyn, they finally got married. Also that, you know, they were trying to introduce Simon again back into their gang. That's how I call them. And finally Jace Herondale decides to pick up his mantle and adopt his real birth name. Finally, I was like, oh my god, finally we have a Herondale in here. But I also love the fact that, you know, they basically stayed with one another. Alex stayed with Magnus Bane, and that's something that I really did love. And finally Magnus was opening up to him. I also love that obviously Clary stayed with Jace, but Jace adopted his final his last name, Herondale. I also like that, you know, Simon was introduced again, and Isabel, basically they're gonna be together. And I really did like that. It was a really good closing to this book. I really did enjoy it, and I love that, you know, none of the major characters were killed off, because I couldn't go through that again. I just couldn't. But I highly suggest that you read this book. If I can rate this book, I would definitely give it a 5 out of 5, even though sometimes I just wanted to burn it and just kill it and just, you know, stand on the top of the roof and just throw it out. But I really did enjoy reading. I highly suggest that you read it, because it is an amazing reading, and it is an amazing book to an amazing closing of characters that you just enjoyed and loved. And I hope that, you know, when the next installment of the Shadowhunters comes out, which is Dark Artifices, I really hope that they introduce a little bit about them, because we do get to see like 6 or 7 characters, or basically around 8 characters new in this book, and that's something that I really did enjoy. But you know, I just can't wait for that series to come out. So I really highly suggest that you read it, because it was an amazing reading, and I really did love it and I enjoyed it. And I'm sad that it came to an end, but you know, all good things must end also. So I hope you enjoyed my review. I want to thank you for watching, and until next time, peace.